Well, guys, we certainly saw more explosion from Auburn's offense on Thursday night at Kentucky, a 30-27 win. Offensively in particular, much more like we were used to seeing from Auburn in the past, much more from what we kind of expected them to appear like all season. Obviously, yes, the third quarter was a bit sluggish, but overall, particularly in the first half, Wes, much more of what we were expecting from this Auburn team before.
Yeah, they had just about 300 yards in the first half. I think it was 297. So a lot of that coming from Sean White to Ricardo Lewis, who had a season high in terms of receiving yardage in the first quarter. I think he had 5 catches for 114 yards just in that opening quarter alone. So, yeah, I mean the offense I feel like looked pretty good. They were able to move the ball, get some first downs. You mentioned that third quarter they were held to, I believe, 12 yards or 13 yards offensively in that third quarter. Just weren't able to get some of those first downs, but picked it back up in the fourth quarter and managed to get to 30 points and get the win.
Yeah, and Sean White didn't get a touchdown pass yet again, but this one was more so than anything. This had to do with, on the long passes to Ricardo, they'd be stopped inside the 15, right, inside the 10 on occasion, and Peyton Barber finished off from there. So as long as the offense was scoring, who got it was kind of inconsequential, quite frankly.
I think Sean will get a touchdown pass by the end of the season.
Right. and Brandon, now the question is, can they continue this heading into Arkansas, who has one of the best rush defenses in the SEC, obviously had a rough time with Alabama, but can this continue?
Well, it all starts with the running game, but I think there's going to be a lot more pressure on Sean White in this game than maybe even so the Kentucky game. He had some great passes against Kentucky. We all know that. Ricardo Lewis was the main catalyst. Now, teams are going to start focusing on Ricardo a lot more because they don't have to worry about Duke Williams, obviously. I don't know if you heard that guy or not. But he's no longer with the team, and you need someone else to step up like Marcus Davis, who we spoke to a little bit. I think Sean White's going to have to share more of that load, and Arkansas knows that, and Arkansas is very good against the run, but I also think that they know they might be able to stop Sean White through the air and make this team one-dimensional, which could be a big problem for Auburn, and one of the reasons why I think those odds makers in Las Vegas, who are much smarter than all of us, have Arkansas favored in this game.
I was surprised Ricardo didn't get double team
more in Kentucky. Yeah, that was surprising, but there were a lot of things surprising about what Kentucky did. For one, that from a defensive standpoint. From an offensive standpoint, Boone Williams has a great first quarter, doesn't get a carry in the second quarter. Right. So there were a lot of things about that game that were just very puzzling. This isn't a matter of second guessing. This is a matter of what was happening.
You know what's working, and you're not using it. And then
flat out strange.
How to defend Ricardo Lewis.
And that said, Auburn had things that were somewhat strange. In the third quarter was a strange quarter. How do you only have that many yards? So it was an odd game in some ways, but overall, offense stepped up, did better. Defense had some timely plays, though, almost 500 yards allowed. Plenty of room to improve and things to evaluate there, but overall, Auburn gets its first SEC win. We'll see if they can keep going offensively in particular against Arkansas this week.